Brace yourself. The Packers are probably not going to be making any major moves in free agency this year, but there's actually a pretty good reason for this. Because this is such a weak free agent class, the Packers' four biggest name free agents, all listed right here, are probably about to go ink big deals elsewhere. As a result of that, the Packers are going to get 4 compensatory draft selections in the 2027 draft. And like I said, it's a weak free agency class, so these guys are some of the best options at their respective positions for desperate teams in free agency to upgrade. So we're not talking about the Packers getting 6th and 7th round compensatory picks. We're talking about 3rd and 4th round picks next year. But here's the problem. If the Packers go and sign unrestricted free agents for themselves, that will count against their net losses in free agency. What I mean by this is if the Packers go and sign a left tackle to a big deal, someone to replace, let's say, Rasheed Walker, they won't get the compensatory pick for Rasheed Walker because it wasn't a net loss. They replaced him. Not only do the Packers love free draft picks, but they also traded their next 2 first-round picks to get Micah Parsons back in August. So this is a desperately needed refill. Like I said, this is not a great free agent class, again, so the Packers are not going to overpay for a lot of the average talent hitting the pool and lose a draft pick in the process. But there is an exception to this rule. If a player is released by a team, meaning their contract wasn't up and they weren't an unrestricted free agent, the Packers can sign that player and it won't count against their compensatory draft pick calculator. If the Packers make a big splash, I expect it to be a player who falls under this umbrella of it won't hurt their compensatory draft picks in 2027. And the number one player who I hope will be on the market is Trent Williams. 49ers All-Pro left tackle is in danger of getting released because they cannot come to an agreement on a contract restructuring. I would love for the Packers to scoop him up, immediately fill their biggest need on the O-line, just plug him in right away, and not lose any compensatory draft picks next year. But I'd love to see this with any upgrade on the O-line of players who were just released. Long story short, though, free agency is a period where tons of average players get paid like superstars. Not only is it not in the Packers' nature to participate in this to begin with, but you sure as hell should not expect Brian Gutekunst to overpay someone and also sacrifice a future compensatory draft pick in the process. So if you're hoping that the Packers are about to make a big splash, I would have your eye on players who are getting cut by their respective teams rather than unrestricted free agents.